I just got a £3,738 order in my Pokemon card business, but just how much profit did I actually make? I'm going to take you behind the scenes of this order, show you exactly how much profit we made, how much each item cost us, how much comes to the bottom line, what the other costs are, and give you an idea of just how much profit a Pokemon business can actually make. And before I do that, look, my name's Nathan. I own eternalcards.co.uk. We did just under £150,000 in sales on the website this year. The total figure I think is going to be just under £200,000 for the year. We're only in our second year, and as you can see from the graph here, the business is growing month over month, bar December, which will always dip. So a £3,738 order. I think this is our biggest single order that anybody has ever placed. This was a direct order, so Sam, who does our rip and ships over on TikTok, he has a friend who wanted to buy some stuff and sent them our way. So this was a draft order that I created for this customer based on what they wanted, and then they have come along and they have checked out for £3,738.47. They bought a ton of Japanese booster boxes mainly, some One Piece in there, and a little bit of English, Silver Tempest ETBs, Temporal Forces booster box, and Twilight booster box. So pretty big order, £3,738. But how much money did we actually make? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to break it down for you here. So you can, if you want, you can pause the video. You can have a look at just what it is they've actually bought, how much of it they've bought, and so here's what we sold it for. Like Super Electric, for example, which is the Japanese version of Surge and Sparks. They were sold for $44.95 each. Future Flash $39.95. The One Piece, we did OP09 for $99.95 and 07 and 08 for $92.95, and on and on. You can take a look at that. So this is the total sales figure for each of them. Here's the VAT we owe from each of them, and this is the VAT per product. So each box of Scarlet EX, for example, that we sell, we owe £6.33 in VAT. So we take away the VAT that we owe from the price that we sold it for, and that gives us what we call a net selling price. So the total net selling price is over here. We deduct the marketplace fees, which is the credit card fees, the Shopify charge. Here's the total cost for each product. So for 4 Scarlet EX, it costs us £92.60, and here's the total gross profit for each product. So that's the breakdown. I'm not going to dig too deep into the numbers. If you wanna pause the video and have a look at it yourself, you can do. But these are what the numbers are, and I'm going to show you here just exactly what comes to the bottom line. So let me freeze this for a second so we'll be able to see this better. So the total gross profit for this order, which is our cost of goods, the price that the customer paid minus our cost of goods, on a £3,867 order, we made a gross profit of £751.43, and that is a 19.43% gross margin. It costs us £45.68 to post it. Very big package, heavy package. And so then the net profit, what comes to the bottom line before tax, is £705.75, and that is an 18.25% net margin before tax. So that is fairly typical for our business. What we will normally see quite a slightly less net percentage figure across multiple small orders, because there is a bigger postage cost and implied there. But this is fairly typical. We try to keep our gross margin at about a 20% minimum. And I think like this is quite insightful, because I do think there's quite a misconception within the community. That the Pokemon businesses are like, making all this money, and it's almost like it's illegal to make £1 in the Pokemon card industry, and as a business we have to do that, right? We have to make a profit in order to pay the bills and function. So but I do think there is a misconception that we're all like making all this money, and it's just not the case. I mean, as you can see here, like that is a pretty small gross margin, 19.4%. and an even smaller net. So, and that's before you even take into account any operating costs or running costs. So obviously what actually hits the net at the end of each month or each year is significantly lower. So the Pokemon card business isn't a get rich quick scheme. It isn't a high margin business. It's a low margin, high volume business. It really relies on volume sales. So this figure, the total sale figure, like in order to actually make a living and a wage, and build a business in this industry, you need to sell a lot, and that can be difficult to do. But I think there is a misconception here about how much money and how much profit we actually make in the Pokemon card businesses, and that's why I want to take you behind the scenes here, give you an honest look at what the reality of the situation is. This will obviously vary. It'll vary in a few ways. It'll vary between different businesses. Some people will sell their stuff for more, some people will sell their stuff for less, and that'll affect their margin. And in our case, some products have a higher margin than others, but we do try to keep the floor at around 20%. This particular customer, we gave a little bit of a discount to, on certain products because of the size of the order, right? Happy to do that, no problem. So I hope that's a little bit insightful for you. And if you're new to this channel, please do consider liking the video. Let me know in the comments if you wanted to see more, if there's anything specific you want to see, and subscribing to the channel to join this journey. My goal with this channel is just to take you behind the scenes of a Pokemon card business and show you how it runs, how it functions, with total transparency. I don't hide anything. I don't gatekeep anything. The only time you'll ever see anything blurred out or left out is when it's sensitive information that I'm literally not allowed to share, like customer data or supplier costs, those sorts of things. But yeah, look, if that's something that you're interested in, then come along. I'm new to this. This is a new channel. There's big plans for Return of Cards in 2025. We're going to be moving out of this room and into a warehouse space, and yeah, we got some big plans. It's going to be exciting. If you want to follow along for the journey, please do that, and I appreciate you being here.